morning. It's Friday. Yep, Friday. Oh, that's fast, eh? So as promised, I'm gonna get on here every Monday to Friday. Actually, I'm gonna do Monday to Thursday. And we're also gonna change the co-working hours to Monday to Thursday. So there's some new stuff. Hey, Vari. So my question is, do you treat weekends differently than weekdays now, right? I mean, like, or are you an avoider, and because you're at home and you can work on weekends and weekdays, you do those interesting things like going hiking in the woods during the week because you know less people will be out? That's my question. I don't know if you guys are doing the same thing, but now when I go to the dog park, well, if somebody comes to the dog park, I leave. It's a new strange behavior I have. And also, if I'm watching a program and I see people close together, I'm like, oh my God, they're so close. And so this is a new type of mental behavior. I'm wondering, do you have these little things that are now happening to you? Hello, Nicole. Right, go Pip. Thanks, Vari. I love you. So each morning I get on here and have a little chitty chat because that just makes my day better. I get up, I get a little more dressed. It's been hard to focus, and I don't know if you're all feeling the same way, but yeah, it's been hard to focus. So I don't know if you saw, Greg posted in the group last night, it looks like a calendar of great things to do for self-care, because we all need to do this. So as we adjust to the new cyber lifestyle, little different things are happening and our mental things are changing. Hello, Karen. You know the weirdest thing? I can't see. Oh, now I see a character count. Good morning, Jenny. Hey, buddy. So yeah, just this morning talking about if you are treating weekdays differently than weekends. Are you still doing that? I was listening to something this morning about sales. So this is for all the agency owners or marketing people or coaches or anybody, but like sales. So I don't know if you guys know, I've been in advertising sales for years. I worked at this company when I started my pay-per-click advertising career, and it was a sales job, and we had to come in on Tuesdays with a list of 100 businesses to call, and we had to get 10 appointments for the next week. And like, no word of a lie, it was a challenge. Well, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because this might be the new thing to do. So sales is going to be a little different. I am seeing less leads come in. I don't know if you are. And so I know right now I'm fine, but in 2 months, I need to set myself up for success. And that means I need to change what I'm doing, right? And so not only are we going to, change some service offerings and make it more affordable for some people to do some important things, but I also do I need to hop on a phone again? I mean, it is not my favorite. I will tell you, sometimes I'll start cold calls with, hi, so this is awkward. It is a good icebreaker because it is awkward, but this might be a strategy I might start implementing, maybe even just to interview businesses to see what they're doing in the marketplace. And I think that's a good idea, so I can see where to position myself. So yeah, that's really interesting. So sales stuff is top of mind for me right now, and organizing my business and time. So over here, we've kind of struggled with our processes. I think like any business, right? I think project management is like a thing. So Vari, I want to know, what software do you use to do project management? Are you using Basecamp or anything? Is it just email? What you doing? I'd love to know. And anyone else out there who, organizes their time and the things they're doing, like the projects or tasks, like how are you being accountable to your clients? How are you being accountable to yourself and your colleague versus just working in a black box, right? Where you just do stuff. So those are interesting things. Oh, you focus on what you're focused on what you can do to support your community. I like that. Leadership, not panic. It's true. Actually, I was going to talk about that a little bit this morning because Well, there's a couple, before I get to that, that's part of the helpful advice, because I have down days and up days. I'm not sure how you guys are doing, but it's pretty interesting. So I wanted to talk quickly about a couple business things that are really interesting. So Zoom bombs. I know you've heard of them. If you're using Zoom now, there, some people are getting hacked. And the reason is not all Zoom's faults, but it's your cybersecurity hygiene. Isn't that a great phrase? Cybersecurity hygiene. I love it. So that is about, maybe when doing meetings, don't use your just generic. Vari, it's not letting me see the comments anymore. I see, oh, there we are. Hi, Greg. Oh, you use teamwork. I got to look at that. So cybersecurity hygiene, great phrase. Something that we all need to pay attention to right now more than ever. If you work for a big company, hopefully they're putting things in place that there is security, especially because we're all in the cloud and things like that. But that being said, on an individual level, we need to be smarter. Like, maybe using something like LastPass, or maybe creating passwords with numbers and letters and capitals and special things. Anyway, pay attention to that, because, well, cybersecurity is a big deal, and your cyber hygiene is up to you and how you do it. So I thought that's really interesting to bring up today, because it's all over the news. The other thing that's really interesting and is going to change our world a bit, in my opinion, is Google tracking. So Google is now going to be collecting data in aggregate about, not on the individual level, but on the group level, about public distancing. So we all know that you can go into Google Maps and you can kind of track back, where you went, what you did. Really good if you're looking for your kilometers and your work and what you've done there. So anyone for taxes. But that's really interesting, right? Because that changes kind of the perception of tracking us. And so although really important right now, we did implement, paying taxes at one point because of wartime measures that they were going to take away, and they never took them away. So this is really interesting. So it's just interesting to pay attention to. I mean, for public health, this is a great idea to find hotspots, which I find really interesting. So there's, with all the available tools we have now, it's never been like this before. There's a lot of changes that are going to happen in this time. So things you might want to pay attention to are like cybersecurity, hygiene, Google tracking, how you're being tracked. Read those terms and conditions. Oh, they're boring, huh? I don't know if you saw, but Zoom had a deal with LinkedIn where they would, what do they call it? Farm the data? So I don't know. They call it something. Anyway, so they have a deal in their terms and conditions that it's shared over. It's pretty interesting to read. So yeah, my last bit today is about helpful advice. And Vari, you mentioned this on supporting your community, adding value, showing leadership. And Greg, you probably know this. I was a little bit down yesterday. I woke up in the morning and put on the news, and it was about 600 care facilities, and, worry about my family and stuff like that, because they're a bit older. And so, I was looking around today, and I was like, man, I can't keep living like this. I can't go down and up. It's hard. And I know maybe some of you are feeling that way too. And I think the best advice I got was to be present, as simple as that is. So, I don't know if you guys ever fall into the what if this, what if that? Well, it's not here. That's future thinking. Don't dwell in the past, because you can't change it. Don't hop to the future, because if you live in what if, you can scare yourself silly and stressy, and that's not cool. And so present moment, right? Present moment. The more we can stay in the present moment, and that doesn't mean have the news on 24/7. And I know some of you are doing that. I am not doing that, thank God, because I'm sensitive, right? I can't watch animals being hurt or even hear about it. I can't watch horror movies. So I'm a sensitive bunny. But I need to start concentrating in this way. I'm actually going to start structuring and planning and trying to replan to make the best of my time to grow my business. And that might actually mean making a call list and interviewing businesses. So it's be patient, right? And persistent. I was talking to a couple of friends the other day, and we have a mastermind, and it's awesome. And they're amazing people. And, the things that I pull out of that are really important. And one of the things that came out of this week was, if you're in business, it's the hardest times that feel like you're sinking, your boat's sinking, the boat, you burned the boats, you're there on the beach, you're gonna, I don't know if you know the analogy. Anyway, you're gonna work through all of the pain and the stress of owning a business. And sometimes it feels like, well, it sucks. Like, let's be real. Sometimes you question on, like, do I even like doing this stuff? Like, and it's hard. And those are the times where when you push through, that's when you're successful. It's kind of interesting. I have a little weird story about that before I go, but I moved out west a number of years ago. And my friend from Toronto used to always be like, when are you moving home? When are you moving home? And I never wanted to move home until I felt like I had been a success. But then when I got successful, I didn't want to move home because I didn't want to give up the success. So hence I never went back to Toronto. But it's kind of like that with the business, right? You want to work towards being successful. And when you're successful, you just want to be more successful. And, business is not a straight line up. And if it is, you're very, very fortunate. It kind of goes like this, like those bad relationships we had, or those, I don't know, maybe not bad relationships. Anyway, that's my morning. If you don't know, you can go live anytime in the group now. You can share what you're doing, share blog posts of your friends, get on a live, promote your business. We want to create more of a community now more than ever. Best way to do that is to show up on a live or share a video or just help other people with their business. So that's all I got today. And I hope you have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing Friday. And if not, I don't know, do something that you're going to enjoy. And we'll talk soon. Okay, bye. Oh, don't forget to answer that question at the beginning. And if you're catching the replay, say replay. And the question is, do you treat weekends differently than weekdays right now? Yes, that's it. Okay, bye.